Just Texas, just talk about the matchup and your thoughts, early thoughts on that.
Yeah, great matchup. Obviously, historic program. A lot of respect for Sark. Offensively, defensively, special teams wise, a complete team. Could possibly be in the playoff. So, great opportunity for our football team to go against a really great opponent. Feel like we got a good football team too. Excited to see the preparation, how we get through this bowl prep. Uh, Offensively, starts with Arch and it starts with the quarterback, and he's just improved throughout the season. I took a lot of criticism in the beginning, but he's a heck of a player, talented, could run. They've got weapons all over the place. Do a really good job scheming around the football, and then defensively, they're attacking. Simmons is the outside linebacker, defensive end. He's pretty special, pretty elite. So it's gonna be a great matchup.
And there's a narrative out there that you guys only threw 5 times in the first half and that you had receivers running all over the place. And can you just talk about what the game plan was for Ohio State and what you saw on film?
Yeah, try to be balanced. Obviously, credit to them. Not gonna make excuses. They played well. They played better than us in that game, and we didn't do a good job executing in that game. So, thought we had a good start and had good momentum. I think as the game plan went and changed, as you got in the red zone, you're trying to, get the ball in the end zone, and you first play the game, you have a successful 20 or 30-yard run. You think that's going to work, and then it doesn't. So, for us, we got to move past that. We got to push through. We got to learn from it, though. We had usually 24 hours, almost 48 hours to really get over that one. So, learn from it and keep rolling.
Over on the right here, Ryan.
I know the development arc is different for everybody, but which freshmen do you think will you be looking to contribute right away next year?
We'll see. There's a lot of them. I think it's a special group of freshmen incoming guys. Talking about the guys that are early enrolling and all that. We'll see. Obviously, I think the talent of Savion Hyder is special. I think he could do it. Could be one of those receivers on the outside lanes. Really excited about those guys. The linemen are all going to compete. So it's a great group, and the corners as well, linebackers. It's a complete group. So we'll see as we get through spring practice. I can answer that question better as we get to there and get into the summer.
How much do you think NIL has impacted signing day with so many guys flipping all across the country, like on the last minute after being committed to schools for a long time?
It's definitely out there. It's definitely a thing. It's something you can't ignore, and you have to have a plan for, and you have to adapt to, because, yeah, that's part of it. You think you got somebody signed, and then somebody shoots out something or does something, and you've got it cemented of what you've all agreed to, and all those other things, all those other pieces that are part of college football now. But that's just college football now, and that you got to adjust and you got to adapt.
Right here, Sam.
Have you had the time to sort of reflect on this regular season, and if so, what are some lessons or takeaways that you think you can use to next season?
Yeah, time, a lot of time to think about what we've done and how we've done it. Proud of the team. It's a very young team. I continue to say it, and you go back and watch game by game, you saw groups getting better and better and better. And obviously, didn't get the result we wanted in the last game, and that's what we worked towards. But try not to beat yourself up too much about that, because you got to prepare for this next one. So I think we got a really good foundation of where we need to be, but we got a lot to work on.
In the back right, Dennis.
Will Keene and Rod Morris think medical red shirts, and you want those guys back?
Yeah, we let both of them back. Don't plan on playing Mikey or Rod probably either of this game.
What are you telling the guys on the defense about Wink coming back next year?
Yeah, that he'll be here. Yep.
In the back there, Andrew.
Sherrone, a lot of some programs choosing not to play in a bowl game, I guess. Can you give the specific reasons why it is important for Michigan to participate?
Yeah, it's only, I think I said this yesterday, but you only get better at it by playing it. The development that you get, these extra 15 practices when you get down the bowl side, are super important. And for us to be the team we need to be, you need to practice football. You need to play football. You need to have those competitive atmosphere. You need to have that physicality to get back to where we need to be. And we know we're not where we are. Where we are right now is not where we want to be, but that's where we're at. And our team is excited about the challenge ahead, because it's going to be a great opponent. But these practices are so important. You take them all, and you want them, and you need them, and it's only going to help us in the long run.
Charles.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your quick thoughts on the quarterback matchup. What do you hope to see from Bryce in the final game of his freshman year, and then what have you seen from Arch?
Yeah, Bryce just go through his progression, stay true to his read, be who he is. Let's put a great game plan together to complement our playmakers and go try to win the game and really not try to make it about Arch versus Bryce, which I know that's what it'll be about. It's Michigan versus Texas, and they can't make it versus those two kids.
And then you mentioned NIL. When do you start to get a plan together and talk to players that are expected to return for next year about their NIL?
Yeah, I mean, those are just ongoing conversations that you have to have with kids. Just the state of college football now, you can't ignore it. And you ignore it, then all of a sudden you lose a whole team, and we can't do that. So retainment is a huge piece of what we have to do and what we will do as we go forward.
In the front left, Anthony.
Yes, Sherrone, what was the process that led you to Kerry Coombs as the new special teams coordinator? And given his pedigree with defensive backs, do you think maybe he'll be an asset there as well?
Yeah, I mean, Kerry's just so well respected in the field of coaching. Different coaches that I've talked to throughout the business, coaches that are here that are coached with him, obviously, but people that I really trust in the business have spoke so highly of him, in the college and NFL ranks, and brought him here on an interview, and it was instant. You could feel the energy, you could feel the passion, you could feel such a great teacher, and obviously a great recruiter. I know he recruited the state of Michigan for so long and was so competitive when he was at that other school. So, but just felt like it'd be a good fit and good connection, what we needed, and feel really good about it.
Do you think he'll work with some DBs a little bit as well?
We'll go there when we'll talk about that later. But really, his focus will be on special teams, and as that needs assistance or helps, he can always interject because he's experienced. But he's going to work with our special teams, and that puts an arm on the whole team, right? He gets to be a part of the whole team.
Isaiah.
Do you have an idea of what incoming freshmen are going to be traveling to the bowl game?
Well, with the new rule, they can't play in it, so that's that's a little bit different. So most of those guys will just report in January.
Okay. And also, is there a new commitment that you look at and say, man, I'm kind of surprised no one was really paying attention to him. Like, we think he's kind of a gem type.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of them. The guy that that I think is really going to be a special guy is Marky Walbridge. He was recruited but kind of not recruited. Him and Alistair. As the D lineman, like those guys are really good. Alistair, it's so weird when you watch his film. He looks like Mason. You can't say, "Hey, you're going to be like Mason Graham." Mason Graham was the top 10 pick, so that's putting a lot on the kid. But that's his movements, his twitchiness, his ability to get off blocks. That's what it looks like. But I'm really excited about the whole class. It's a fun class. It's a great bunch of kids, families, but a lot of good players.
Run right here, Aaron.
Sherrone, going back to Kerry, now the second coach you've gotten that used to coach.
It wasn't on purpose. It's not on purpose.
What did he say to you about his experience there and his appetite to come to Michigan, given the rivalry and his?
I mean, when in our conversations, I didn't really, specifically say, hey, what happened at Ohio State or why, that. We really was just talking about his whole career, how he's got to his point of where he's at in coaching and why this place would be so important for him to be at. And just hearing his responses and understanding what we can do and how he can help us win and how he wanted to impact lives was a huge piece of it.
On the right here, Austin.
Sherrone, when you look back at the offense, how do you assess the fit with Chip and what he wanted to do and how that fit with what you want to do and how all the parts fit together?
Yeah, I mean, Chip has full autonomy. The offensive staff has full autonomy. I don't call plays. I don't make the decisions. I just help out where need be. So we just have to continue as a whole offense in the building to make sure it's the best for the players that we have and continue to work forward that way.
Were there parts of Chip's offense that maybe you just didn't get to this year for whatever reason, youth or just time on task or all of that?
I mean, I think we hit a lot of it, and a lot of stuff that he's done in the past we've done, whether it be tempos, whether it be the spread sets, whether it be the passing game, whatever it was. So there's a lot of it that we hit, but as you have a younger team, there's less you can do with them, right? You can't do everything. You could try to do everything, but then you'll be really doing nothing. So we'll progress, and as our team gets more veteran, and even in these bowl practices, there'll be things that we'll introduce that we haven't done because we'll have more time.
In the front here, Alejandro.
Just to clarify, are you expecting Rod back next year, or is that still?
We'll see. Think so, but that's something you got to leave up to the doctors and him and his family.
And then yesterday you were mentioning wanting to progress in these bowl practices as a team, as players, but also as coaches. What, as coaches, do you feel like you want the staff to progress on?
Yeah, I mean, I think just every day you don't want to stay the same. So me as a head coach, coaches coaching, there's not really a specific thing. It's everything we do.
On the left there, Clayton.
I imagine you guys are already preparing for the portal, to open in a few weeks. And
I guess, could you reflect on how, big you guys hit it with Justice and some of the other guys last year? And then how important it is to be ready from a money standpoint so you can kind of pounce quickly?
Yeah, I mean, you got to. The big thing about the portal is, not only getting the right fit, but the relationship, but obviously the right player, but people that fit the program, the people that fit the culture, that people that fit involved in the program, and you got to be ready. We're on it. We've been on it. You got to stay on it. You got to have lists ready to go, and obviously you can't talk to the kids until they get in it. So we got to do everything we can to be prepared for that, and then from a financial basis, all that is a piece of it, right? We got to make sure we got a plan for all of it, and we do.
All right, Zach?
You talk about NIL in terms of retaining players. What else kind of goes into retaining the players from season to season in this age of the transfer portal?
Yeah, I mean, with that is just old school relationships and love and the quality of them wanting to be at Michigan. I think that plays a lot into it. We keep a lot of guys here because they love this place. They love Michigan. They love what it's about. They love what it's done for them, love what they've done for it. So I think that's a huge piece of it, too. We all know NIL is a piece of it, but really it's about that, too.
And even going into a bowl game, how important is maybe some common opponents within the regular season, especially with Texas?
Yeah, you're going to look at – we're going to look at every game they played, and there's plenty of film on Pete and Sark as far as the offensive defensive coordinators and Jeff Banks, the special teams coordinator. So there's plenty of film from multiple years of what they do and how they've done it. Obviously the game plan's changed, so we'll definitely go back and look at all the common opponents.
On the left, Zach?
Edge and D-line, you guys have a lot of seniors in the bowl game. How will you balance letting them show what they can do one more time versus maybe getting a peek at what you have next year?
Yeah, just go play to win. However we got to win, that's the only thing we're worried about. It's not really just playing for next year. It's whatever we got to do to win that game, that's what we're going to do.
And then the pass rush, was there anything you saw looking back on the Ohio State game that needs to improve?
Yeah, you got to get there. That's just plain and simple. There's not really a big explanation for it. We got to do a better job of getting that pass rush.
In the back right, Angelique?
Sherrone, I asked you about Justice last night, about whether he'd be healthy for the game, but do you anticipate him returning for 2026?
Yeah, that'll be conversation we're still having. So.
And I wanted to ask you, I mean, you've talked about Bryce, but where do you think he's made progress, and what do you think is like the immediate teaching points that he needs to get going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously learning the playbook, knowing what's going on, being able to make some spectacular throws like he has throughout the year, throwing on the move, throwing in the pocket, throwing different things. But I think definitely just continue to work on the little fundamentals, like start with your feet, make sure your feet are right, make sure your eyes are exactly where they need to be, not looking at rushes. And, but everybody else has to continue to get better around him too. All the point always gets pointed at the quarterback, whether it was Bryce, whether it was JJ, whether it was Cade, what's the quarterback do wrong? Everybody else has to be good around him as well.
On the left, Chris?
Coach, with Chip, how much time does he spend with Bryce in terms of what he does as a quarterback's coach, and thoughts on maybe bringing someone else in even to help in that area? And do you have other guys helping with him?
Yeah, he spends a lot of time with them, and that's something we're definitely looking at, is bringing in other people to help, bringing in another quarterback coach, and something we're working diligently on to get worked on.
Over on the right, Aaron?
Do you feel like you've maximized what you've gotten out of Bryce this year? I know he's only a freshman, there's still teaching points, but what are you satisfied with the progress?
I don't think you'd ever be satisfied unless we were undefeated and number one ranked in the country, and you probably still wouldn't be. So I don't think you ever can be satisfied at any point with anybody and what we've done, but the progression that he's made has been really good, and we're going to continue to keep progressing.
I know yesterday you were asked about Ernest Hausman. Is he, just to clarify, is he with the program? Is he left? Because he said he left the country. Is that true?
Yeah, he's just working through something that's really all I can speak on. We're just here to support him.
As a coach, do you feel like he's clear on the team? Is he the captain? He's a leader?
Yeah, no.
Got time for a few more. We'll start with Ryan in front.
How much of the Indiana-Ohio State Big Ten Championship were you able to watch, and did you learn anything about what it will take for you guys to get back to that game?
Yeah, I watched it all. Physical teams, both up front. It starts up front. Being able to run the ball or stop the run, and being able to make plays in the passing game, and really executing the red zone, because there's red zone stops in that one. There's red zone stops in all the big games, and you got to be able to score in the red zone.
In the back, Angelique.
Sherrone, has Synagoga been working with Bryce?
Yeah, Josh has been as well. He's been assistant as well, but Travis Russell helps as well. Chip helps. Chip's there. Chip's the mainstay of helping out with being the quarterback coach and being the offensive coordinator.
So you'd bring potentially someone else to join that?
Yeah, or move it around, however we feel necessary.
Anything else?
Do you like what Indiana means to the Big Ten, what Cignetti's done?
I mean, just a lot of respect for them, and a lot of respect for how they play, what they've done. I watch them weekly. They've done a really good job, and regardless of the logo on the helmet, they're a good football team. So, you know, they're representing it the right way. They're playing physical. They're playing fast. Quarterback's a heck of a player. Defense is really good. So, yeah, just respect for what they've done and respect for him as a coach.
Can I sneak in one more?
That's the fine. That's the fine. If you donate to
I'll pay
NIL.
the tax. No, I was just curious, what's your reaction to Notre Dame and you know, not getting in the playoff and now not playing in a bowl game?
Yeah, that's their decision, and that's something that we're not going to do. So that's just their decision.
All right, thanks, everyone. Andrew, I knew you wanted to ask another question about that, so you're.
No, I was wondering, the Big Ten, and 3 teams in the playoff. Do you root for them, against them, indifferent? I assume you'll watch.
I'll watch them. I'll make that decision as we get closer to the game. Yep. Thanks, guys.